Hello you guys and welcome back to my channel. If you're new around here, my name is Carolina and I'm so grateful that you're watching today. And for today's video, we're gonna be trying a little something new that I'm very excited about. I've wanted to do a video like this for quite some time and I've been kind of holding myself back from doing it. So here we are, we're doing the thing. So essentially what's gonna be going down is I'm gonna be showing you guys my updated makeup routine, and at the same time, I'll be answering questions that you guys submitted on a little Q&A box that I did on Instagram. I do Q&As on Instagram every other Friday and I usually just answer them on stories, but I just wanted to try something different, so that's what we're gonna be doing today. You guys also submitted so many questions, so I'm gonna try to get through as many as I can. And as we move through the questions, I'm gonna be talking about the products that I'm using and just kind of pointing them out so you guys know, and I'll have everything linked in the description as well. So the first thing that I'm gonna do is my gua sha routine. To make sure you properly gua sha, you have to use a good oil on your face. So I personally love this face oil. It's the Noni Glow face oil from Cora Organics, which is a skincare brand that I really love. I just take a dropper, spread it out on my face and on my neck. And there's a lot of benefits to gua sha. It helps kind of depuff your face a little bit if you tend to wake up a little bit puffy. I've been doing it regularly for quite some time now. I'm gonna start out answering the questions. Oh, there's so many good ones. Okay, the first question is, how can I give myself the validation that I seek from others? This is something that I have had to work on for a while in my own journey because I love words of affirmation as a love language, and I also grew up with parents who always used to give me cards on my birthday and that are very good at giving words of affirmation. And so it just became something that I sought after, whether it was a teacher congratulating me or someone telling me that I looked pretty or whatever. So I definitely have struggled in my own journey with feeling like I needed other people to validate me and that I needed other people to compliment me. And what's helped me the most with learning to not rely on external validation so much is learning to validate myself. And the tool that to me has been the most important is doing affirmations. So you can do affirmations in many different ways, but usually I just write them out in my journal and I do it first thing in the morning. You can also validate yourself by just taking stock of moments when you've achieved something that has meaning to you and is important to you, and really taking a step back and being like, oh my god, I did it. Like, I got it done, I showed up, and kind of congratulating yourself and celebrating yourself in those moments. It's so important to really give yourself a hug and just be like, oh my god, like I'm so proud of us. And also when you're looking in the mirror, you can say affirmations. I remember when I was first starting to do it, I would write them out on sticky notes and I would put them on my mirror, and as I was getting out of the shower in my towel, or even when I was naked, I would just read them out loud, and that has also been really powerful. And that is it for my gua sha routine, and I got this gua sha from Amazon. Once I'm done with my gua sha, I just wash my hands because I don't want them to have oil on them. Now we're gonna get started with makeup. On the day-to-day, I will say I don't usually do a lot of makeup on my face. I just add a little bit of mascara, brush up my eyebrows, and put on some lip balm, and sometimes some blush, but that's it. Today I'm gonna show you guys my slightly more glammed up version where I do put on face makeup, so keep that in mind. I really like this foundation from, I don't know how to pronounce the brand, but it's spelled K-J-A-E-R, Weiss, and I use the shade D310, and it's kind of oil based as well, so you have to kind of give it a good shake and be kind of aggressive with it. And then I just put it on my face like this. Use this brush from Say, kind of like a two-end brush, so I use this for foundation, this for concealer. The next question is, do you still run, and what's your workout routine? So as you guys know, I do love running, and I've had running eras where I've been training for half marathons and I was running very regularly and running like quite a lot of mileage as well. But after this last half marathon that I did back in the middle of March, I only had 7 weeks to train for it, and I've also been planning my wedding at the same time. So honestly, it was very intense and I felt like my body did not react the best to it. Like I was holding on to some inflammation, and after I finished training for the half marathon, I definitely have slowed down my running and I have not been running as much as I was before. So currently I've mainly been focusing on weightlifting and also walking. I've been doing lots of outdoor walks and morning walks, but also just walking on the treadmill when I'm at the gym or doing the Stairmaster, which I want to do more of. And then around 3 times a week or 4 times a week, I just do weightlifting, and I do a class at my gym that's just like a strength class, and it's usually full body, or I'll use the Form app, which is Sammy Clark's fitness app, for the workouts, and I love them because they're very quick. So that's usually what I do when I'm traveling, but that's kind of my workout routine. And I sometimes mix in a little bit of Pilates here and there, but I definitely feel like I've had phases of my life where I overdid it with my workouts and I was not taking enough rest. And this year I've really learned the power of resting your body and giving yourself time for your muscles to recover and for you to get enough sleep. And I think this combination of lifting weights and walking has just really helped my body feel less inflamed and stronger. I really think it's important to find what workouts work for you. And I still do love running, and I feel like I run like a couple times a month, but definitely not as frequently as I used to. Next step for the makeup routine is my concealer, and I use the Touch Eclat Radiant Touch concealer from YSL in the shade 3.5. The next question is advice when feeling lonely and in a sad mood. Honestly, this question resonates a lot with me because I kind of have been feeling that way a little bit recently. And what I have learned that is the most important thing is that you have to move through it and not around it. You have to allow yourself to actually feel what you're feeling, because if you don't let yourself cry and if you don't let yourself release what you're feeling, it's just gonna keep building up inside of you and it's not gonna feel better. I really think it's important to just let it out and cry and then sweat it out. I was feeling kind of low 2 days ago, so I let myself cry that day, took some time to just like be alone, put my feet in the grass and look up at the sky and kind of have a solo conversation with the universe and just kind of plant good seeds into what I wanted to feel and what I wanted to release. Then I took a little bit of Palo Santo, which looks like this, lit it up and then kind of just cleared my energy. And then yesterday morning, went to the gym, and honestly it helped a lot. And also lean on your friends, lean on the people around you, lean on your journal, write everything out if you need to, and also tap into activities that bring you joy. I think that's the most important thing. Dance or read or watch your comfort show and just do things that you know will make you happy. But I also try to be mindful of not self-isolating and not spending too much time alone, and trying to put myself in environments where I'm around people. Because I'm self-employed, if I spend too much time working from home, I can start feeling kind of sad. So I try to purposely go work at coffee shops and be around people, even if they're strangers, or going to a workout class or going to the park, and just being around other humans can also really help, in my opinion. Okay, so next step in the routine is brushing up my eyebrows. And I will say I did already brush up my eyebrows this morning, and I have always used this brow gel from Refi, just their brow sculpt, but recently I ran out, and then I have been trying this brow freeze gel from Anastasia, and I am actually obsessed. It's so good. It's also a little bit easier to use. I'm just gonna rebrush them. This is kind of how I do it. I just kind of apply the gel and then I use the brush, but you can also use your fingers and just kind of do it like that. And it's so easy. Love this one, new favorite product. Another question that I got is, what supplements do you think everyone should buy? And one that I think 100% every single person needs in their life is magnesium, because most human beings are deficient in magnesium. And magnesium helps with so many different things. It can help with sleep quality, muscle recovery, digestion, and regularity with the going to the bathroom. So I've been taking magnesium regularly before bed. I wanna say at least for 2.5 years now, and it's something I do every single day. But the thing about magnesium is that there are 3 different types, and so I always make sure to take a complex that I get all 3. So I'll leave a link in the description for the 3 brands that I like. All right. Another part of my makeup routine that I do is eyeliner. And there's a lot of eyeliners that I like, but recently my favorite one has been the Black Magic liquid eyeliner from Ico London. Honestly, great. And as I do the eyeliner, I'm gonna do a couple rapid fire questions. The first one is where to find jeans for curvy girls. My favorite brand for jeans that I buy pretty much every single pair of jeans from is Abercrombie. I really think Abercrombie has had like a glow up over the last couple years, and they have a curved love line. and every single pair of jeans from their Curve Love line is so good. So I get all of my jeans from them. But I recently got a pair of Barrel jeans from Anthropologie that I'm also so obsessed with. I'm actually wearing it right now, and it's kind of like wide leg and super comfortable. So also one of my new favorites. And it's from the brand Pilcrow within the Anthropologie line. Next question is, any tips to help limit screen time before bed? Honestly, the best tip for this is put your phone somewhere else that is not in your bedroom. This is something I've done for years and years and years and years. I just don't charge my phone in my bedroom. And these days, my body just kind of naturally wakes me up. But if you are someone who needs an alarm, you can always buy an Alexa, and there's some really, really affordable ones. I think some of them are like 30 bucks if I'm not wrong. But honestly, an Alexa is also a speaker, so it's a great little investment. That way you can just plug your phone in your bathroom or in your kitchen or somewhere else, and then once you plug in your phone, you can kind of kickstart your routine before you go to bed. So brushing your teeth, doing your nighttime skincare, or making some tea. And I also really like to read before bed, which I think helps me limit screen time. I've just been on a fiction kick for the last couple of years, so I also find entertainment from reading, and it also really helps me just like disconnect from this life and just kind of escape into another world. And so that's something I do every single night. That helps me a lot with not scrolling before bed, because I have personally found that when I scroll right before falling asleep, I just have a million thoughts going in my brain as I'm trying to close my eyes. This is something that I highly recommend. And then someone else asked, when should we cut our hair according to the moon cycle? If you want your hair to grow fast and to be as voluminous as possible, cut your hair in the couple of days leading up to a full moon. Because when the moon is full, it's at biggest and brightest. And for the last also like 2 years, I've only cut my hair on full moons, and my hair is so long, it grows so fast. Like, I've gotten compliments on my hair so many times. This is one of the things that I've started to do differently when it comes to haircuts, so I highly recommend this. Someone else asked me what my favorite protein powder is, and if you guys have been watching my videos for a while, you will know I'm obsessed with the protein powder from Be Well by Kelly, because the ingredients are pretty minimal. I think it's 3 or 4 ingredients. I love the chocolate and the vanilla protein, and I use the non-vegan one, which is made from beef isolate protein, because I do eat animal products, but she also has a vegan one that I'm pretty sure is also great. I also find that her protein powder makes everything really creamy and delicious, so I'm obsessed with it. Okay, next step in my routine is mascara, and this is the best mascara I have found in quite some time. It's the Estee Lauder Sumptuous Extreme Lash Multiplying Volume Mascara, and I'm honestly kind of running out, which is making me sad, and I didn't buy a new one, so I need to. But I have some additional mascara with me to like supplement that one. The Say Mascara, which is their Black Noir Mascara 101, and then I also really like the Lash Clash Mascara from YSL, and I've had multiple tubes of this one too. I actually got a lot of questions about eating, so I'm gonna just read a bunch of them and then kind of give a condensed answer. People asked how to avoid overeating, tips to get hunger cues back, should I only eat when my body tells me I'm hungry, or should I maintain regular meals 3 times a day? And someone else asked for tips for listening to hunger cues. So I'm just gonna give an answer that kind of touches on all of those things, which essentially boils down to, how do you learn to listen to your body, honor when you're hungry, and know when you're actually hungry? And also, when you start to eat, how do you know when you're full and stop eating so you prevent overeating? So specifically relating to hunger cues, I think it's really important to understand that if you've struggled with your body before with eating or restriction or dieting or any of those things, it can honestly be a little bit hard to fully know how to listen to your body and to fully know when you're hungry, because for so many years you've kind of told yourself to not listen to your body, right, and to follow external rules or pressures and things like that. So it's really important to acknowledge that first of all and understand that it's a process. But then the second thing too is it's really key for you to spend some time observing how your body feels when you're hungry. I personally, when I'm hungry, genuinely feel like a bottomless pit in my stomach, and it feels really uncomfortable, and I sometimes just feel a little bit low energy when I'm hungry. But there's people that can get nauseous, or you might get a headache when you're hungry. So there's different cues that your body's gonna give you, and you just have to start to observe your body, because it's different for every single person. And then the other question too, right, was do I have to do 3 meals a day, or do I only eat when I'm hungry? And again, again, it comes down to figuring out what works best for you. I personally work really, really well with having regular meals, with eating at least 3 times a day, if not more. I don't really focus on the time of the day specifically for my meals. I just focus on making sure I get regular meals, and then also at the same time listening to my body. And if I get hungry for lunch and it's 11:30, I go and I eat my meal. Something else too that I've had to really learn and respect is that if I'm more active on a specific day, I'm gonna be hungrier, right? So if you're someone who works out a lot and you start walking more or you start exerting more energy, you're gonna get hungrier, and that's okay. Your body is expending more energy, and so you're gonna need to nourish yourself more to be able to live a more active lifestyle. So, you know, it's not always that you need to work out more and eat less. Actually, if you start working out more, you're probably gonna have to up your protein or make sure that you're nourishing yourself properly so that you're actually energized. Again, it's super by individual, and you just have to learn to tune in. And then the last question, which was regarding overeating. What has helped me the most, and also my clients, is slowing down. Being slower with your chewing, is putting your fork or spoon down as you're eating. Take these little breaks so that you're giving your body more time to digest your food as you're eating it. And then start to notice, are you starting to feel full? Are you still hungry? And kind of use these cues to keep moving forward. And also, because so many of us multitask when we are eating, whether that means you're scrolling on your phone or, you know, calling someone, texting, watching TikToks, or watching YouTube. It's very common for us to do that. So that's where putting your fork down and slowing down becomes extra important if this is something you still want to do, and you're probably still going to do naturally. And then something else that's also really important when it comes to overeating or feeling shame or guilty after you eat something is removing this idea that there are good foods and bad foods. Because when you carry this morality around food and you see certain things as bad or as off limits, and then you go and you break that rule and you have that thing, one, you don't know the next time that you're gonna allow yourself to break this rule, so you're more likely to overeat that thing or eat too much of it, and then what happens? You feel too full. And then you're like, damn, I never have self-control around this thing, that's why I don't eat it. And then the cycle repeats itself, right? You restrict it, you don't eat it for a while, and then when you break that rule, you eat too fast, you eat too much, and then you feel bad. So removing the idea that there are good or bad foods can actually really help stop this pattern. So it just comes down to, as I said, slowing down, and then also removing this idea that there's good or bad around food, and just realizing it's just food and you're allowed to eat a wide range of things, and it's always better to have a little bit today and a little bit tomorrow than eating too much of something and then feeling bad afterwards. The next product in my makeup routine is one of my favorites. It's one of those products that I use very regularly, and every time I put this on my face, I get compliments. People say, oh my god, you're glowing, you look so good, what have you been doing? Oh my gosh, you're so glowy. And I genuinely think it's because of this. So this is a product from the brand Jones Road. As you can tell from this, I definitely use it a lot. It's their Miracle Balm, and I use it in the shade Sun Kissed. And I also use their Everything brush. And as I apply this on my face, let's go on to the next question. And this is a very deep question, but it kind of ties to what we were just talking about, which was food related. Do you feel like you are fully recovered from your ED, and do you think it's possible? If you guys don't know, I struggled with my relationship with my body for many years, and I struggled with a lot of restriction, but also overeating and body dysmorphia and orthorexia and a wide range of things. And I talk very openly about it on my socials, on my podcast, and that's also what fuels me to embody having a more balanced and loving relationship with food and with movement and with myself on the internet, to show other people that it's possible and that you can live a life of freedom. But that said, as I have healed my relationship with my body and with food, I've realized that I've also been working on my perfectionism at the same time. And as a perfectionist, it can be really easy for your healing journey to become about reaching an endpoint as opposed to learning to navigate your everyday reality. And so something that I've kind of come to terms with is the fact that there really is no endpoint with healing, and there's still going to be triggers that are going to pop up, and there's still going to be things that people around me say or moments of life that I go through that might trigger something related to my body or with food, and that inner critic might get really loud, and those old patterns might try to creep back up. And so the healing ends up becoming more about becoming better at navigating the triggers each time that they come up. And for a very long time, as I was healing my relationship with my body, I would get really frustrated because I would find myself getting triggered by certain things or certain people or different moments in my life, and I would beat myself up so much about it. Like, this shouldn't be such a big deal. I shouldn't be getting so annoyed and frustrated by the situation. And honestly, that was also the inner critic, and it just wasn't serving me. So something I just have kind of made peace with is the fact that it's more about the journey than about the end point. I do think I have healed in many ways, and each time that a trigger pops up, it's just an opportunity for me to reconnect with myself, to realign with my values and with who I want to be and with what matters. And I have to constantly remind myself that when I was my smallest, when I was my skinniest, when I was under eating and over exercising, I was my most unhappy. I was my least confident. My hair was falling, my skin was dull, I was getting bruised all the time. I didn't feel good. So it's just kind of a lie that we tell ourselves that we need to be smaller to be happier, and I just have to constantly remind myself of that. And I just know that as I get older, as a woman, there's going to be new pressures that I might feel, whether it's navigating a postpartum body or aging and having wrinkles, whatever it is. Like, I know there are going to be new triggers and there's going to be new pressures, and it's just going to be new opportunities to reconnect back with what I want and with my confidence and with what I need. Well, I got really passionate about that answer. But it's all true. Okay, last step for my blush routine is this little blush here from Rare Beauty. It's their powder blush in the shade Truth. And to apply this, I use the Rare Beauty blush brush. And this blush is so beautiful. It's very pigmented, so I don't use a lot of it. Mine actually Mine actually broke when I was traveling once, but I still use it because I love it so much. And for my next two questions, I have, what's your favorite high protein breakfast and what are your favorite matcha spots in New York City? My favorite high protein breakfast will not come as a surprise to anyone who's watched my channel or has seen my Instagram stories for a while, and it's a yogurt bowl. I love yogurt bowls because you can either just have the yogurt on its own or you can mix protein powder. Like, if you mix yogurt and protein powder, you can easily get to 50 grams of protein. But most of the days I just do the yogurt by itself, and I use Greek yogurt, and usually I do the 0% or the 2% from the brand FAVES, which is spelled F-A-G-E. And then I add any fruit that I'm craving. Usually it's banana and berries, but I also love doing like a tropical vibe with pineapple and mango, or I'll do like frozen blueberries, which I also love. And then I put granola, and my favorite granola is the Purely Elizabeth granola, which is gluten-free, and I kind of want to learn how to make my own. So I have to get on that. And I sometimes add in a little bit of honey or a little bit of nut butter, usually peanut butter or almond butter. And to me, that's the perfect breakfast. And then in terms of my favorite matcha spots, I love Butler in Soho. They also have a few other locations. I love Matcha Fall. I really like Cha Cha Matcha as well, though I find their matcha to be a little bit less good these days. And then La Cabra is also really good, and I'm pretty sure they get their matcha from Kettle, but I've never actually been to Kettle. And those are my favorite matchas in the city. Okay, makeup is almost done. Last step is lipstick. I'm a lipstick and lip balm girly. I use it every single day. And honestly, I use this one pretty much every single day because it's my favorite shade. It's kind of like a brownish color, and this is from Ilia. It's their Balmy Tint Hydrating Lip Balm in the shade Faded. I'm obsessed with it. And I actually already put some of it on before I started recording, but I'm reapplying. And I just find that it really complements my skin tone. I'm a little bit tanner because I'm Brazilian, so I just feel like it's natural looking, but it's just enough color as well. And honestly, they have so many different shades of this balmy tint, and if you're a little bit less tan, this color might be a little bit too dark for you, but it's my favorite. Okay, I'm gonna do one final question to close off the video, and it is tips for moving through big changes in life. In case you guys don't know, I moved from Brazil to the US when I was 13. I had to navigate moving continents and moving to a completely different culture. I moved from Brazil to Chicago, and then I moved from Chicago to Florida. Then I went to Philly for college, and then I went abroad to Italy, and that's when COVID hit, so I had to go back to Florida. And then I ended up moving to New York post-grad, and I've just had to navigate just a lot of change. And honestly, I am not someone who loves change. I'm a Taurus. If you know anything about Taurus energy and astrology, that Tauruses love a comfort zone. It's true. Once I find something that I love, I want to do it over and over again. Though sometimes I overdo it and then I get sick of it, but that's something else. The point is that I've had to navigate a lot of change as someone who doesn't love change. And so what I've had to learn is that even though change is uncomfortable, it's always for the best. It's always pushing you one step further in the direction of who you're destined to be and to become, and nothing is ever thrown your way that you cannot handle. You are so much stronger than you think, and going through change is just taking you to a next level version of you. It can be so common for us to want to hold on to the way that things are, and that just causes us so much more stress than we need to go through. That's why it's so important to become flexible and adaptable and open to new things and to things evolving, right? A tree and flowers, they're not stagnant. They grow and they change, and the leaves fall and then they grow again, and the earth around us is the perfect embodiment to the beauty of change. Also, when you're going through a change, it's natural that there's going to be a lot of unknowns. There's going to be a lot of things that you might not know exactly how they're going to turn out. So you might spend a lot of time worrying about them and overthinking about it. And maybe you're thinking of all the worst case scenarios because you're trying to prepare yourself mentally to handle it if it does happen. But over worrying does not actually prevent anything in the future from happening. It just stresses you out. So instead, use your energy to focus on what you can control right now, because that's the best way to empower yourself and to help yourself feel more secure and grounded. And then also just envision the best case scenario and tell yourself that that best case scenario is a possibility and that you are worthy of it. By releasing worrying, you're also building self-trust, because you're communicating to yourself that if the worst thing happens or if something unexpected happens, you can handle it when it happens. And so that's my best advice on change, and I hope that it resonated. All right, you guys, that is it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed this chit-chatty, sit-down Q&A style of video, and definitely let me know in the comments if you did and if you want to see more videos like this or other types of sit-down talking videos, because I had a lot of fun filming it. I don't know why I held myself back for so long. I used to love watching these kinds of videos when I was younger and when I first started watching YouTube, so it feels really cool to do one myself now. Also, here's a finished makeup look. Super glowy, also pretty natural. I didn't go too heavy in the eyes, and this is just what I do whenever I'm going out or doing a photo shoot or anything like that. I will link all the products that I used down below. If I forget anything, please remind me. But I love you all so much, and I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day, and I'll see you guys very soon with another video. Mwah.